Was an awkward dinner party. Let's talk about The Invite. This has to be one of the best comedies of the year. This movie is hilarious, and I love that this movie isn't trying to be loud and brash and just vulgar to get a laugh out of you. It's intimate, it's intriguing, it's insightful. It kind of delves into relationships and finds the funniness in like awkward couple banters, couple arguments. Things that are kind of naturally happening, and by doing so, it's just a hilarious movie that you might have to watch a couple times to catch every joke, because there are so many little subtle sly remarks or facial expressions that you could have easily missed in this movie, if you weren't paying attention to it, or if you looked away for a second or something like that. But at the heart of the film, this movie is also very poignant, and I really appreciate what Olivia Wilde is able to bring into this film about relationships and whether they can survive if the individual people aren't whole themselves. Like, you don't, relationship isn't about two half people becoming whole, it's about two whole people becoming one. And when you lose sight of that within yourselves, and you stop putting in the effort, or you start complaining about everything, you kind of lose sight of that. And it really does take a really poignant and hilarious look at this development that happens in relationships, especially long-term ones. Can you find the reason why you fell in love with that person for the first time? Can you find the reason to continue this relationship? And I really appreciate the places that this movie goes without overtly explaining it to you. It's a small, intimate movie. It only has 4 actors in the film, and it's done in a one apartment, in multiple rooms in the apartment, but it does the most it can with the limited space that they have, and the combinations of the actors that you get: Seth Rogen, Olivia Wilde, Penelope Cruz, Edward Norton, and then the mix mash of them pairing up with each other and going to other rooms, having conversations, is just delightful to have. And the awkward situations that arise from this really reminds me of a movie that came out a few years ago, almost 15 years ago, called Carnage, where it was 4 adults who started acting like children because their kids got into a tussle. This very much is that same idea, but where that dealt with more of how adults can be more like children than children can be. This one takes a look at real life relationships and the animosity and the resentments that can form from it. And Olivia Wilde does a wonderful job of directing this cast of characters and the limited space that she has. She was really impressive with Booksmart, especially the writing and the directing that she was able to get from her production on that one. She brings a lot of that here and makes it tenfold and makes a really mature and poignant movie here. I think this movie is totally a discussion starter and a couples movie for sure, but even if you're single, you can explore the humor in it as well, because we've all been in relationships like that where misunderstandings happen or resentment is there, and you start making sly remarks, then you get curious because the other couple is fighting. It delves into that so well, and it's just hilarious and super enjoyable to watch. I think this is probably Seth Rogen's best performance. I think he does bring the Seth Rogen-ness to it, but he also brings a tenderness and a vulnerability that I haven't really seen from him in any other real film. Olivia Wilde is great in here as well. She brings a lot of anxiety and tension to the everything that's going on, kind of puts you on edge. But I think the real standout is Penelope Cruz here. I think she is fantastic. She kind of is like a puppet master of the situation, and the way she weaves in these conversations and dissects these people is just so interesting to watch. Overall, I think The Invite is a great movie. It's a great comedy, great romantic dramedy as well. There is a lot here that you can unpack and dissect and visit over and over again, and I think it's just something that should be explored. And I think Olivia Wilde deserves her flowers. She made a fantastic movie here.